P.O. Joseph playing on a defense pairing with Kris Letang throughout the first weekend of camp. Do you read anything into that, or do you think that's just, hey, let's let the young kid grow underneath the guy we hope he turns into one day?
I'm going to go with the latter because we know he's fighting for a spot down on the third line. Mm-hmm. We're letting him play together because he has familiarity. We've seen them play together before at the NHL level in a short amount of time, but still something. There's a little familiarity there, and it is much better having even a little familiarity versus throwing a guy like Jack St. Ivany up there with Kris Letang, saying, have fun, good luck, best of luck. It is, you're training him to become the next Kris Letang in the future if P.O. Joseph makes his way into the lineup this year and progresses properly, which he needs to do. But Ty Smith might be just better. For what it's worth, from what I've seen, I know it hasn't been much, and you can only take so much from camp. Ty Smith looks just a touch better. So I think it is just having him grow with Kris Letang or under Kris Letang, just having him watch him from the best perspective there is, and that is literally on his line. Mm-hmm. So I think it's just letting him grow into that position and being the future defenseman of this core, and then going from there. He does have to still beat out Ty Smith to make it into the lineup this year, but I also read into the latter more than because I know it might not mean much again because it was preseason. P.O. Joseph was the second line defenseman in his preseason game, behind Jack St. Ivany and Ouellette.
Xavier Ouellette was the top left defenseman in that second game.
So, and he was playing with Taylor Fedun. Now, maybe he was just playing with his AHL line mate, and that's all it was. Mm-hmm. But still, I'm not reading too far into more than the latter part of your question, which is just letting him grow underneath Kris Letang.
Mm-hmm. I kind of disagree. I think that I'm reading a little bit into it now, whether that's just me, again, tinfoil hat conspiracy me, but that's just me thinking of it. But whenever P.O. Joseph came up the first time, he did spend a couple of games on the line with Kris Letang. And when you look at the left side of the defense, it's pretty clear and obvious that the Pittsburgh Penguins want to see Marcus Pettersson and Jeff Petrie be the second pairing all season long. Like, that is their ideal second pairing. The question then becomes, do you really think that Brian Dumoulin is going to be able to get back to the level he was 2 seasons ago? Because last year it wasn't it.
Yeah.
Last year it wasn't it, and he's coming off of a knee surgery. Now, it didn't look like anything was hampering Brian Dumoulin at camp, but again, that's training camp. What happens by the time you're at game 41 in the middle of December and you've played 41 games in 2 months or whatever it is? Mm-hmm. That's when you have interesting questions. Or if there's another injury on that lineup, who do you put up there? Because I wouldn't want Mark Friedman up there, to be completely honest. Yeah. I don't think the Penguins want to put Marcus Pettersson up there. I think the Penguins want to keep Marcus Pettersson on a line with Jeff Petrie as long as they possibly can. So who is the guy that would end up going up there with Brian Dumoulin down, or with Brian Dumoulin needing to take a lesser role? That's P.O. Joseph. So maybe they're trying to get these guys a little bit more familiarity. They've played together before. Joseph is the top defenseman in the Penguins system right now. You want to get him time with the top defenseman on the Penguins roster. And if that becomes your top pairing, that's something that, yes, they both lean a little bit more offensively. But P.O. Joseph is much better defensively than Mike Matheson ever was, right?
Yes.
So regardless, if they're willing to pair Matheson and Letang for playoff games, P.O. Joseph and Letang being a first pairing is not that far out of the question to me. So I think that they are preparing P.O. Joseph to play with Kris Letang, probably not at the beginning of the season, but by the end of this year, I wouldn't be surprised if that's your first pairing for the Penguins.